Don't you just love that feeling when you want to play a video game like, I don't know, Bloodborne? So you go over to your PC, you boot it up, and you realize, oh wait, I can't play Bloodborne on this system, I have to go out and buy a PlayStation just to play Bloodborne. And then when you actually do go out and buy a PlayStation, you're locked to 30 FPS, which was the level of performance we were expecting back in 2005. Well, according to the Fanboy we're gonna take a look at today, that's pro-consumer. So I was scrolling around on Twitter today when I saw this post by a guy named Nib. So Mr. Nib here says, don't let Xbox/PC aligned influencers who previously championed exclusives gaslight you into believing gamers ought to be pro-multi-platform, or exclusives are anti-consumer. Simply because Xbox pivoted. Gamers who value quality over accessibility will always celebrate exclusives. So apparently having exclusive games means they're higher quality. Tell that to Concord. But he attaches a 6-minute video down below, so what I thought we could do today is just go ahead and go over the video together, and hear this guy's argument out for why games should be exclusive.
I wanted to touch on the benefits to the consumer of console exclusives, right? Because besides console exclusives incentivizing the console ecosystem.
Alright, I hate to cut this guy off so early, but Jesus, dude, what is that audio quality? Well, it's not even really the quality, it's the fact that there's so many, cuts when he's speaking, and you guys are gonna notice this as we go on.
I wanted to touch on the benefits to the consumer of console exclusives, right? Because besides console exclusives incentivizing the console ecosystem and increasing competition between platforms, etc.
It might increase competition, but it kills creativity. Why add cool and creative features to your console if you can just lock games behind it? If exclusives didn't exist, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo would actually have to go out of their way and add cool and unique features to their platforms to incentivize people to come over, instead of just locking games down. Because when you really think about it, do you think many people would be going out to get a Nintendo Switch if it weren't for the games that are locked behind the Nintendo Switch?
It's actually a boon to gamers, which is often missed, right? People often say, oh no, multi-platform benefits consumers. Well, not necessarily, actually. Exclusivity benefits consumers too.
What fucking benefit do the consumers get when they have to go out and buy a $500 PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, whatever, just to play a single video game? That doesn't seem pro-consumer to me. Once again, I'm going to use Bloodborne for an example. It's pro-consumer for me to have to go out and buy a $500 platform just to play Bloodborne, instead of just buying it on my platform of choice like PC.
At least if you're a consumer who values quality over accessibility.
So apparently games being exclusive means they will be of higher quality. Then how come games like Redfall come out? Games like Forspoken? Games like Concord? Those don't scream high quality to me.
As console exclusives provide development and game design benefits, which developers have been telling us about for generations and years, a few interview snippets of which I've included within this video. Because what it means is these tentpole games can continue to be made from the ground up around one sole platform, right? For one specific hardware, lowest common denominator, and even one specific API, right? And not having to spread your development team thinner across multiple platforms has major development benefits in content curation, tech, optimization focus, development, etc.
So games will be better optimized if they're exclusive because they only have to develop for one platform. Forspoken came out and it was like 30 FPS. Starfield, 30 FPS. Redfall, 30 FPS.
Then another benefit of exclusives is that they are by and large subsidized by the platform holder. So they're not just spending the development budget to sell the games, but the games themselves are meant to act as system sellers. They're meant to incentivize bringing people to the platform, and thus once they are inside the ecosystem, gain a 30% cut from every single purchase that new consumer to the platform ever makes. So because of that reason, we get exclusives that have tremendous budgets despite being developed from the ground up for only a single platform, which again has massive development and design benefits.
Yeah, but even with all these budgets, the games aren't really getting better. You look at Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 2 costed infinitely more money, but a lot of people say it's a worse game. The Last of Us Part 2 probably cost a lot more than The Last of Us Part 1, but a lot of people think it's worse than The Last of Us Part 1. The only thing that's really getting better with all this money for development is graphics, and it's so marginal that it doesn't even fucking matter at the end of the day. We really are in the era of diminishing returns. It would be one thing if all this money went towards better stories, more complex gameplay, larger worlds, more interactivity, stuff like that, but it's not. And the budgets have gotten so high that someone who works for Sony literally had to come out, get on his hands and knees, and beg for people to buy half-assed remasters. Now, for the rest of the video, he goes on to talk about Xbox and does not talk about exclusivity benefiting the consumer, so we're not even going to go over it. Instead, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the responses he got to this post. Starboy here says, how can a person be so stupid? Isn't it better if you can buy all your games on the platform of your choice? This idiot thinks that everyone can afford multiple consoles. The only ones who benefit from exclusivity are the corporations, you idiot. Yeah, it's the exact opposite of pro-consumer, but these people think they're benefiting because it gives them ammunition for their pointless console war on Twitter, but they don't even realize that by arguing that their platform needs exclusives, they are admitting that their platform would be useless unless you arbitrarily lock games behind it. And hell, I'm not the one arguing that. That's coming straight from the fanboys themselves. Gara here says, right. Hey Forspoken, Spider-Man 2, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, Master Chief Collection, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, No Man's Sky, Haze, Redfall would like a word. Wait, what do you mean all those games were broken or had huge issues on launch? I thought exclusives made games better. Turns out it fucking doesn't. Rokon here says, is that why Black Myth Wukong, Baldur's Gate 3, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Balatro were successful? Oh wait, it's almost as if, regardless of if a game is exclusive or not, a game's quality directly comes from the effort and feedback that's used to make the game. And he is absolutely correct. I think all of those games that were just listed are much better than the majority of exclusive games released in recent times. But if exclusivity equals quality, or it helps with quality, then why is this the case? Wargaming Dad says, what happened to the fight to remove exclusivity? I remember when I got my first Xbox and PlayStation, most could afford both back then, gamers were fighting as one against exclusivity. Now people are so console cucked, they're defending anti-consumer business practices. People are either insecure about their purchase of a console, or they just want to dunk on other people on the internet so they're willing to actually become cucks for these companies. Like, bro, Sony ain't gonna sign your butthole. Now, I want to go over a really funny interaction that happened in the comments section of his post. There are plenty, if not more, quality games that are multi-plat than exclusive, my guy. Exclusives make up less than 5% of total releases on PlayStation, so that's not exactly particularly surprising, lol. Then your point is moot. Stick to coloring books, because the context and nuance of the points raised are clearly well above your comprehension. Uh-oh, somebody's butthurt. Don't be upset because you invalidated your own point by agreeing, lol. Now, the fanboy's reply to this shows just how stupid he is. It literally did not. You did not understand the points raised. Exclusive games can still be bad, and multi-platform games great. That has nothing to do with the chances of higher quality with exclusives, all else the same. As devs, budgets, resources, etc. will be spread less thin. Now, the other guy absolutely bodies him here. You can't say that after saying gamers who value quality will always celebrate exclusives. You are literally contradicting yourself. They have these high-ass budgets and churn out just as much wrong with them if they were multi-plat, and most of the time they cost more. Which this just completely destroys the common fanboy narrative of exclusive games have better quality. But I don't really have all that much else to say for today's video. I don't think if you're being genuine you can really sit here and say that exclusives are pro-consumer. The only reason fanboys like exclusivity is because it gives them something to console war with. Anyway, with all that being said, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't, you can leave a dislike and an angry comment, and yeah, peace.